Alright guys, just received a package in the mail only moments ago from China. I'm assuming this is a Light 8 NFStrike package. So, let's... honestly don't recall what they said they were sending. But it is square with some things. Okay, well it was shipped in a bag, one of those plastic bags, but it was packaged beyond that, which is a nice touch. We always prefer boxes, but no, this is at least they're trying, instead of just throwing the items strictly into the bag. So we have, okay, bit of a, come on now, kind of a curvaceous foregrip with an extra little thingy and the key to go with. Okay, a round box with, okay, these are these the worker ones? No, these, holy cow, these things are, okay. These are flip up. They're apparently not the worker ones, because there's nothing labeling it as such, but, okay, they're apparently not the spring-loaded guys like what we've seen, but they are very much solid, almost, they sure feel metal to me, with some kind of coating, but yeah, they do have a retention that holds them down, and apparently they're not spring-loaded like the others, but they do have a positive snap-up with the little release button. Okay, and this guy here does the same thing, has kind of a side-to-side adjustment there. Alright. And what appears to be, okay, another one of these big target things. Okay. Transport. Okay, it's got at least some kind of catchy thing, which is kind of cool. Okay, a couple of batteries, so it's going to sing at us or something, which is weird. Okay. Guy shooting something much more aggressive than just foam darts. Okay, probably wouldn't recommend this for firearm use. So, alrighty, we'll give me a chance to play with these things a little bit, test their material and how they work and stuff like that, and I'll come back with a report on everybody. Okay, time has passed. I have had a chance to get these installed and play with them a little bit, and we'll go ahead and start with the optics and get them, or the sides, we'll get them out of the way. They are a metal construction. They do clamp very solidly to the rail. However, I mean, obviously with Nerf you only have a limited use for any kind of sight things besides aesthetics. I'm not super duper crazy about them personally. As far as style-wise, they're rather basic and everything. It is nice they do lock rather securely. They do wiggle a little bit, but they do not, you know, will not come down on you. The push button on the rear, yeah, the rear was awful stiff, and there's kind of a burr in there. This one here pushes in rather smoothly. This one has a bit of a catch and is a little bit grittier. Still comes down good enough. They are adjustable quite a bit. The rear has a larger and smaller hole. Crap, I can't remember what the heck you call those. So, you know, to your choosing, you can adjust it side to side. There's a screw on the side here which will move it sideways. There's also these little reference marks, you know, for getting a quick sight on things here, and then you actually have little indices here showing you how much you've adjusted. There's a single point of adjustment on the front, just this single point, but it's honestly a pain in the neck to adjust, to really actually get to it. So, and I ended up just trying to get in there to actually adjust it, kind of goofed up my paint and stuff like that. So, considering, you know, like I said, most Nerf blasters being modified don't have a super duper use for optics and stuff, so I wouldn't necessarily count that against it. Not my favorite. The price point puts it above other, like the worker ones and other popularly available options. So I don't know if I can really put a solid like must buy on these. I would put it up to your preference. If that's the style you want and they do what you need it to do, then that's up to you. But they're not my favorite. I honestly didn't really care for them. So I'll probably still leave them on this or probably on something else. They are very much usable in Nerf capacity. There again, if that's your budget and you like them personally, then that's up to you. Not my favorite. I'm probably going to pass on these. However, this Foregrip, I'd seen when they first started hitting the market, at least through Nerf circles. I'd seen them, and I honestly do not care for it aesthetically, personally. I like the kind of more basic, boxier grips. This one is a little more organic and, you know, smooth and curvaceous and stuff like that. And that fits the bill for some people. But I will say it's an incredibly comfortable grip. I was very surprised. I put it on. It is a very snug fit. It's a slip-on with a set screw essentially. I mean, this bolt goes through and it holds it in place, but it's not a clamp on. It's a slide-on with the bolt. And it was very snug. I actually had a heck of a time getting it back off, and ended up filing just a little bit on the inside just to make it come and go a little easier. I don't know if that's the particulars of the rail or if that's at the fault of the grip. I also tried it on this pump kit and it had a similar issue. The issue I had with this one is just the way it fit, because it's kind of an interesting fit. It's not like a basic grip. It encourages you to hook your finger on the end here, which just puts your hand in a different location, and my thumb actually rubbed on this sharp edge here, so I really didn't like it there. So it would depend on what you're excuse me, what we're trying to install it on would depend on, you know, whether or not it's a good fit for you. However, on this, it's I like the original shotgun grip, and then I put one of the angled worker grips on. I really love that, but I really like this grip, and I'm actually really glad they sent it to me to review, because I was very skeptical at first. Like I said, I don't like it aesthetically, but that's purely subjective. However, comfort-wise, and I have medium, smallish hands, honestly, but it's a very nice fit, and I thought the finger thing was kind of weird, but when you hang on to it, it's just very natural, and especially in conjunction with the worker pump grip here, you just kind of naturally set your hand in there, and it's just like a big hug for your hand. It's just nice. Gives you a nice solid pull, and a lot of the pull is on your finger, which is kind of cool, because before I had to kind of wrap around the front of the pump grip to get a good purchase on it. This here, it's just very nice, and it's not an incredible spring load. It's just a 9 kilogram spring in here, but this just still pumps it very flawlessly, and I imagine it would be even more noticeable with a stronger spring load. But it's a solid single, you know, injection molded piece, so you know, I'm sure it's going to be strong enough to handle really anything we would throw at it. It has this nifty little door on the back that you could put like a stick of gum or a Tootsie Roll or something cool like that. I believe you're actually supposed to put the installation wrench in there, but if you do, and you put it in there, then it's going to rattle around and make all kinds of noise and be annoying. So if you don't have anywhere else cool to put this, then more power to you. But otherwise, at least you have a little door. So, you know, that's always cool. But no, I really honestly like the grip. It was very surprising. It doesn't look to me it's not one of those where it's like, I wanna put my hand on that. But after you do, it's like, you know what? I really like that. I like that a lot. So no, definitely, I really like this. Really like it, honestly. And it's right up there with the other available pump grips price-wise. I mean, it's right around, it floats around 9, I think. You know, a little more, a little less, depends on the source and promotions and stuff like that. But no, I would definitely buy another one of these, especially if I do another pump grip, at least like this style. Or it'd even probably be nice just even on the front of a stripe or something like that. You just want a nice place to put. It's a very natural angle. Some of them are like overly flat, or some of them are a little more vertical. It's just a very natural, at least for me personally, and I am like, I don't know, kind of your basic, you know, overweight, kind of normal sized dude otherwise. But no, especially on this with the worker, everything else, it's just a very, very comfortable, very makes my hand and body happy grip. So definitely a good positive on that. I will approve, and I'll likely be ordering another one of these in the future. Now, I had intended to video the opening of this guy, which is the target set, and I apparently forgot to either hit record or the camera ate it or something, but I actually did a video, or at least attempted, to discuss assembling it, which was rather basic and everything. This piece was pre-assembled. I know some of them have come with the actual target plates detached, but this one was a single unit, just needed to add batteries. This framework, you have this skin, which is a almost kind of like a very thin, kind of like athletic short material. It's you know, breathable, kind of a polyester-ish. Has a little bit of give. Actually, it was has this a elastic band on it that kind of helps keep it in place. It was actually a little bit sturdier than I expected. It was a pleasant surprise. The framework just fits together. There's a front, yeah, kind of front and a back on the base, and then these two pieces here snap in. Easy assembly. Fits, I mean, as well as you'd expect. Plastic is kind of, it's not, I felt worse, but I felt a lot better. But it is something that's, I think it'll take a beating. It's just not like super duper high quality, but I think perfectly acceptable for our uses. And you just slip that dude on there. Like so, and you're ready to rock and roll, as the kids say. Now, the base itself, the actual targeting base, is a resetting, and there's been several of these that other people have reviewed. There's a lot of options available, and when I opened this up and saw holes here and said, oh, this thing sings like the other ones and it's super annoying, actually it doesn't. It just does this. Which, when I first put the batteries in, it scared the crap out of me because I expected it to be a little more gentle bringing them up, but it just like jerked and shook the things everywhere and just like startled the crap out of me, and I made a little bit of a scene, so I'm glad the footage did not come out of that. But it does, however, give you this nice little bonus. It gives you cool fake sound effects to give you more satisfaction in your hits. So that's, I guess, kind of a bonus. Plastic seems, I mean, it's actually like decent-ish. I know some people have had these things explode on them. I hit this with that long shot. I hit it with a 150 FPS flywheeler. I hit it rather close range with all these. I've been beating the heck out of it with a rival. It says, I believe in the description, not to go over like a 5 to 7 kilogram spring or anything. But actually, I set this thing up in the living room, and my wife and I used it to basically see who could get the high score, and the winner chose, you know, winner got to choose where we got to go out to dinner for our date. And my wife thought it was kind of a dumb idea, and I got her to go for it, and she actually had a really good time. We actually had a ton of fun with this thing. It's kind of cool having something that's reactionary, a reactive target, something that resets on its own. It does keep score. It only scores, it doesn't score each hit, it just scores each set. So once you knock the third one down, it resets and gives you a point. 2 digits, one would assume it goes up to 99, but I haven't played that long yet. But I've been playing with this for over a week, is it 2 weeks now? And sometimes, the only issue I've had with it is sometimes the targets come down with such force with what I've been hitting it with mainly with the Kronos, my Apollo sprung Kronos, and sometimes it'll come down so hard that it springs back up and resets, and sometimes doesn't give you the point. But aside from that, we've been wailing on this thing. Like, honestly, you know, some close range and more just kind of average shooting range, and it's held up very, very well. I was actually really surprised, pleasantly surprised, because the more I use this thing, the more I like it. Honestly, as silly as it sounds, it's kind of cool to have something that, honestly, I've just had it set up in the living room, and like while I'm waiting for videos to process or something, while I'm working on the computer, then I'll take pot shots at it. and it's like I said, I was very skeptical of it at first. I figured, okay, well, we'll see what this thing's made of, and see if it plays the dub music like some of the other ones did. But I honestly like it. I mean, and without looking at the price, I was thinking, this is actually something really cool. The bad thing is the price, at least at the time I checked, was right about $25 to $30 for the target unit itself, the target base with the little catching cage, which I do like the idea of having the cage on here, even though most of the rounds will pop back out, especially on high-powered blasters, especially the Rival. It comes out. Some of them do catch in the bottom, which is nice. But I do like the idea, because at least keeps them contained so they're not just flying everywhere. But as the whole unit was close to, like I said, $25 to $30, but then shipping, I think, was another $10 to $13. So if I remember right, when I checked, it was close to $50 for the whole target, which immediately puts it kind of out of my convenience price range. However, I talked to my wife afterwards, and I was like, so what do you think of the little target thing? And she actually, like I said, honestly really enjoyed it. She's not crazy about Nerf. She doesn't like having to pick up darts. She doesn't like getting shot, and she doesn't like things that are hard to use. But she had, like, honestly, a really good time with it. And I said, okay, well, how much fun did you have? What would you had a good time if you were to buy this for a friend, for their kids, or for a family thing, so they can have a good time like we had. What would you pay for it? She kind of hemmed and hawed around about it, and she's like, something like that. I would probably, I would expect to pay, if it is good quality, expect to pay like $35 to $40, at a basic store. And I said, okay, well, the thing's roughly $30 with, I think with shipping is close to $50. And she says, honestly, I had a lot of fun with that. If it was something we were going to use more often, as often, as possible or whatever, then she says, yes, honestly, I had that much fun with it. So that to me, from someone who is not as nerfy as me, having that much fun was cool. And I actually, my folks came over over the holiday for Easter, and I said, hey, look at this goofy thing I got. And they played with it a little bit, and they had a good time. And my parents both were like, that's actually really cool. That would be something that, especially if you had kids, that's something they can play with for, however long, and it's reset and it keeps things contained. There are a lot of positives to it. I was, like I said, initially skeptical and figured, what the heck, we'll just, we'll see what it's got. Honestly, I do like the thing. I mean, the price is the one thing that kind of bothers me. And like I said, a good chunk of it is the shipping, because it did come in a large box, but there is a lot going for it. Is it for everybody? Of course not. But honestly, I do like it. I think it would be something that I would watch for a promotion, because Light Ake and NFStrike always have constantly rolling promotions, things discounted at different rates at different times. I would check on this once in a while. If this strikes your fancy at all, if it's something to have in your office, for your kids, something to just goof around with, something to actually collect your darts when you're testing stuff or whatever. Honestly, I do like it. I do like it. I would try to find it at a cheaper price though. $50 is just too much for me personally. I would say if I could get to it where for $30, I would even say on a good day, if I was really wanting one of these, I would even, and you know how cheap I am. I am a cheap guy. I don't like spending money, especially for, novelties and stuff. This was honestly, it was enjoyable. Everything about it was enjoyable. The quality seems to hold up. I mean, I can't guarantee if you're shooting it with a Caliburn or some kind of super hot long shot or something, you might break it. But like I said, I was shooting, I was hitting it with waffles and AccuFakes out of a 150 FPS flywheeler, 140 to 150 at a relatively close range when I was first testing, and it handled it fine. It didn't seem to upset anything with it. There's no wear. There's no even, like I said, having the target smack down hard enough to flip back up again. There's no evidence of wear or anything like that. I think I would put like a piece of like felt or something like that on the bottom, just to kind of reduce the springiness a little bit so they don't spring back as much. I don't care so much for the sound effect, but it is kind of goofy sometimes. But just, if you have it at a bit of an angle, I noticed it won't always reset accurately. Sometimes it'll hop around a little bit. Good heavens. Okay, that was a bit radical, but it is at a rather steep angle. I would say that's probably close to like a 30-degree angle. And of course that was sitting on the back of the couch, so it was sloped back a little bit. But yeah, anything relatively you know, straight or, you know, at an appreciable angle or whatever. And it usually would just kind of fall down, and maybe you'd have one kind of goof up. That was actually the most extreme I'd ever seen it do that. But the noise is goofy and unnecessary, and I don't like it as much, but I don't want to goof with it and risk the goofing with the computer thing. But at least it's not playing music at you, and it takes 3 AA's. And like I said, we've been using the heck out of this over the last, I think it's been about 2 weeks, and they seem to be holding up fine. So it's something that if you did set it up for your kids, I'm sure that you know, leaving it on for extended periods, it wouldn't just like suck the batteries down real quick or anything. Something like this, since it is a long use thing, usually you might want to go with like rechargeables or something. Otherwise, you'll be changing batteries fairly frequently, I guess. Can't confirm, but I'm just speculating because there is a little bit going on with the reset, the noise, and the counter thing. But no, honestly, I was skeptical and was just going to go through the motions with it, but I honestly do like the thing. It is just the price, and the price itself isn't bad. It's the shipping. Tagging the shipping on was close to $15 or something, if I remember right. I think it was 15. But no, if you get close to it with at a you know, promotion or something like that, you know, get it a bit of a discount, I would honestly pick it up. If it's something you can use or something that remotely interests you, this is the best I've seen. I've seen, you know, some of the other targets that break, and some of them that have other pieces that fly around everywhere or whatever. I do like it. It's a decent size. It's a good target size. It does give you 3 different sizes of the actual target panels. It catches a good deal of the darts. Yeah, I like it. And yeah, it's just the price. So a bit of a mixed bag this time from the folks over there, but yeah, some good things. So thank you very much for watching. I'll go ahead and leave the product links and stuff in the description. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to get to them as best as I can. And until next time, wishing blue skies and green lights to you and yours, and may all your troubles be teeny weeny ones.